Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of Vinyl Stallions!
What up, everybody? It is Spruce, and welcome to another great episode of Vinyl Stallions, a podcast about all things music. And you can check us out anywhere at Vinyl Stallions on social media. Today, we welcome a great Cleveland band, Cellophane Jane, to Spruce Studios. Cellophane is made up of Lex Moda on guitar and vocals, Nate Taylor on drums, Aaron Turkle on keys, and a returning Stallions guest, Connor Peterson, on bass. This band is coming fresh off Bright Winter, which is a festival here in Cleveland, Ohio, and they dive into new music that's on its way and just review of all their great discography. So enjoy this episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome to Vinyl Stallions, a podcast about all things music. We have incredible guests once again, Cellophane Jane in the house. And did I fuck up how that pronunciation?
No, that's great.
Like
Cellophane Jane.
So I literally like practiced in the mirror multiple times because I was like, I'm gonna fuck this up. I'm gonna fuck this up. But like, I felt that much, it's gonna happen. So
Yeah.
I nailed it. We're out here. But yeah, no, all right, so we got the four gentlemen who make up that band. We got Lex on guitar and vocals. We got Nate on drums, Connor on bass, and Aaron on keys. Actually perfectly lined up on how I wrote that down. So that's how we're rolling today. But Clark, how are we doing over there in Toledo?
Couldn't be doing better. Just another day in paradise. Happy to be here, ready to interview these fine gentlemen.
And you fine gentlemen, I feel like have been like after it the past 2 weeks from
Totally.
from like what I've seen. So I guess let's start with Bright Winter, which took place about a week and a half ago, and it's a festival always in the winter in Cleveland, down in the flats. Features some of the best bands in the area, and when the weather is nice, it makes for an even better time. And it looked like the sun came out a little bit later that day. But tell us about that. Was that your first time playing that?
Yeah. It was super cold.
Whoa, okay.
Very cold. Some of the cool by the sun. Yeah, no, it was, people got out there ready to go, and they're introducing us, and I went over to Connor. I was just like, I cannot feel my finger. But yeah.
Hashtag me too.
Hey. Yeah, it was that's crazy. But yeah, I've been telling people it was one of the easiest shows I think I've ever played. Just because the people there were so receptive. You know, like you would say something to them, you shout at them, and you like people coming back and just whoa, okay, cool, let's try. Yeah.
It was rowdy. I mean, you guys you guys playing like the biggest stage there. Like, how many stages do they have in that
I think
area?
there's 3, right?
Yeah.
And that was the main stage.
Yeah.
It was like, in past years, it's been like, there's been one stage that like has really been positioned like in the best place. This year, I feel like they did a better job of like kind of making everything feel cohesive. However, we were on the main stage.
This is your and that was your second time.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. It definitely felt like it was easier for people to kind of get from stage to stage and see like most everybody. But yeah, wow, it was still just as fun to just like kind of have like temporary control of this crowd.
No, definitely. Is it so? Like, where exactly in the flats is it? Is it down not by, like at West Bank, like by the museum area?
Yeah, right over by Nautica.
Or Nautica?
Yeah.
Christie's Cabaret.
Christie's. That's an easy access.
Yeah.
And then one walk up to Carney's, and you're headed home from there.
Yeah.
That's my place.
Oh yeah, no, and so you guys do that, and after you guys do, what is it, like 91.1, that live from Cleveland.
Yeah.
And we've seen a bunch of people that we've had on just in general kind of do that. So how was playing that? Was that your first time doing that as well?
That was probably our second time as a group, I think, right? And then me and you have been on there.
Yeah, we've been on there a bunch, but as far as Cellophane, I think it's the second time.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I think I've probably played there like 20 times.
Really? Wait, so where
all
are
the
they
different
at?
bands and stuff. It's over in Case Western University, across the street from where the old CIA building used to be. Now there's like a huge Peter B. Lewis building. It's like all made out of metal and stuff. So it's like right across the street from there.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was tight. It was a lot of fun, and I felt like that one was one of the easier radio gigs I've done too. Like,
Yeah, that
it was quick.
That felt really, I think we just felt pretty on,
Mhm.
and, yeah, it wasn't really a hassle on anyone.
No, yeah, real smooth.
Nice. Yeah, I've been kind of just meaning to link up with the person who runs it over there. I don't know exactly who, but
Yeah,
yeah, would love to, I don't know, do something. I'm sure we can find something to do with them club.
Yeah, totally.
I'll get you those details.
Yeah, please do. It's I said it I don't know, recently with Mr. Preaching, we put on our soiree of the Salients that Connor played out with Wigged Out, and like it really takes a village with just all the things that come with music and especially building it locally. So yeah, anyone out there, just literally slide into our DMs, hit us up. We're trying to have you on and hear what you have to say, and hopefully you enjoy talking to us. Oh, Connor came back. He can speak for it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you guys put out a record last year,
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah.
Amazing record, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, it was the Ballad of the Bad Luck Boy. We were working on that for about, is that 3 years? Because of COVID ended up kind of screwing everything up, but
About 3 or 4.
yeah, it's about 3 or 4 years. And yeah, it's like a kind of like a progressive record in a way. I think every track is like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a fragment of 10 years. So each track stands for a year, the whole thing. Yeah.
Interesting.
Kind of a weird backstory behind it.
No, I mean, so wait, so elaborate on that a little bit more. Like each one's a year.
Yeah,
Like that's what actually wrote it with that in mind.
Yeah. So like now I think now it's probably like 11 years ago. 11 years ago or so, I got in this car accident and I hit my head. And I started to like have memory loss and like I didn't remember anything before I was 17. It was kind of intense. So like I started writing all these songs. We were still in the Marauders at the time. So there's a couple tracks from that time period that I brought forward into this, but it was just kind of like a journey forward through like beyond the memory loss, I started to have like some weird muscle fatigue. I couldn't play drums and guitar anymore. So eventually found out it was like a thyroid thing that just came out of nowhere. You know, and just so quickly you could lose, everything.
Yes.
And so then every day you're really like thankful when you can actually get it back and you really want to do something about it,
100%. And I was just thinking about this the other day with the essence of I'm trying to really get back to like working out and just like the videos and like I don't know, I'm like maybe a podcast will hype me up, but it's I don't know, just being realized like doing the simplest things is like being thankful, and it sucks for like a lot of people. They don't realize it until something like bad happens or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, just being grateful for being able to move is huge.
Yeah. It was a really weird period of time. And then this band, Cellophane Jane, came out of that from kind of like the ashes of my old band, the Pistolettes, which we used to play around all the time too. I think I was in that band for like 5 years too. Now we're in this band for 5 years. Lots of time.
Yeah. Time flies, but I mean, shit. So, okay, so you said this project has started up since 2017, correct?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, take us on the evolution of, but so explain just the background, I guess, of where the idea came from of this project and kind of how just more and more of y'all got added to this, and again, just fucking killed it on Bright Winter stage like a week ago.
Sure. So yeah, I was in this band called the Pistolettes, and I was starting to feel kind of stifled with writing, and I wanted to have something a little bit more collaborative, but I really just wanted to kind of break out and do my own thing. So I just started this new job, and I got a tape recorder, and so I was like, I'm just gonna take a week, and I'm just gonna take the week off and just track a whole record just in one go. Got it all done, put it out the next, I think it was like from Monday to Sunday, put it out the next Monday.
Wow.
And I was like, I could do like, King Gizzard just came out, they were doing 5 records. I can do 5 records.
Yes, we love King Giz.
We love King Giz. Yep, I was just about to say it.
My buddy was over here earlier when I was just running through your guys' albums, and that was a band that was brought up in comparison.
Yeah.
So that's good to know.
So then, it went pretty quick from there, and I think I ended up tracking the first 5 records within the span of a year. I got that all done before the next May. but yeah, I just I brought you on pretty soon into it, but we just didn't play live.
You were still finishing up, I think, Garbage Harbor at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Open Door to the Merry-Go-Round,
Yeah, the acoustic version.
So you were in the process of finishing those up, and then wanting to get a group together to play out.
Yeah, because people told me, they're like, oh, you can play with the backing track, but I was like, I'm so used to playing in bands, you know, so at that point I was just filling in with other people and jumping in with other bands, but I really wasn't sure if I wanted to get back out, and our bass player at the time convinced me, with you gotta start doing it, so okay, let's do it, you know, so we started playing out, and then the day that we released all those shows, or all those records, we put out a record called 5x5, which is a chronicling of all of that as well.
Okay.
So it really came totally full circle.
Which we were at the show at the 5, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm dropping a record today," and like all of us were just like, "What?"
Yeah, I was like, here we go. It's out right now.
That is awesome. And what a venue as well at 5 o'clock.
I love Five so much. They've been so good to us.
Yeah, I remember I first, I think met you.
I met you right outside. Yeah.
And I don't know if it was the show that we played together or if we met before that, but I remember the first time we played a show together, you handed me like 4 or 5 CDs. And I was like, oh, this band's been together a while. And I don't even know that girl at that point.
Yeah.
I was talking to her for years too. Until like I came out of the band, I was like, oh, I'm looking at it. She just really
Yeah. And then with Ballad, you know, it was just another one of those, I think we were gonna rent a cabin. And we were just gonna knock it all out in 3 days and put it out the next month, and then COVID hit and it was like, forget it.
Yeah.
So we didn't play together for I think 3 months after that.
It was like 4 or 5, because it was about August is when we were like, okay, let's
Start
get the drums.
get it going, yeah. And then it was just a lot of re-recording over and over and over, because you sit with something for so long and you just keep on finessing it, you know, for better or for worse, you know. Up until, what was it, the month before the show, like, I gotta keep working on it, man. And you're like, you're done. Walk away from it, man. You know.
No, the essence of perfection in a song is like the hardest thing. Like rather have great than perfect and just like put it out and like something. I mean, and I love jam bands, and I love the essence of a song is always still being created even after like it's the album version. I don't know, there's so many different versions of songs, and is that something you guys do when you jam or play live at all? Do you jam at all?
That was something I was just talking to Connor about the other day with the
I think it was yesterday. literally.
Yeah, I was like, so you can go back and redo this part and add this thing to it. You're like, why don't we just do that live and record that later? We can get this done.
I did very recently about like to record it as quickly as possible, put it out as quickly as possible. You can do another version later if you want, but otherwise you're never gonna release it.
Yeah.
That's just been like my entire career of music is just like, well, it could be better, it could be better, it could be better, and then you just end up with
stuff
a
out.
hard drive full of songs that will never get released.
Yeah.
And there's been some stuff on some of the songs that we've changed for live shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've played with. So I mean, I think that's gonna just naturally happen as things move along.
Yeah, a lot of Crazy Train. That's the Crazy Train. It seems on.
And I guess, okay, just for everyone out there, so which exactly of these albums are the ones that have all of you on them, and then which are the ones that you just did, Lex? I'm assuming, you know, the Open Door to the Sun, Rita, Dandy Boho. I'm guessing those are all just you, Lex, right?
Yep.
Fun fact, I'm on none of them.
Yep. That's true. Aaron's brand new to the game.
That's all right.
I have a very technical contribution to the ballad.
Yeah.
And on the intro to one song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The rest was done when I like joined, so.
Yeah.
It's like,
Because I played everything on that except for the drums. Nate played on Ballad, and Nate's on 5x5. So yeah, probably 5x5 is when I started letting other people.
So okay, that album is not on Spotify. Where can you listen to that? Is on
That was on Bandcamp.
okay. I need to listen to that. I thought I had listened to the whole discography, and now I'm finding there's another one.
That's the thing, there's always something else.
There's that one, then there's Michael the Birthday Boy, that's a single. There's Glimmer, that's a single that's on Spotify, and so is
Well, it's about to be, but.
it is, yeah. And what's the other one? There's another single on there. That was like a quick thing I put out.
Graduation.
Oh, well, Graduation, yeah, that one's
That's
on
the
there.
one that I.
Yes,
Actually.
Connor's on the first 30 seconds.
That got added, about the time that I was playing.
Yeah.
And, I think it's worth mentioning though, the two new singles.
I think so, yeah.
So we, I guess I can.
You sure can, yeah, take a minute.
So we just, we re-recorded, that single Glimmer that's only on Bandcamp. And then we also did a version of, I don't know if you wanna release.
Yeah, we'll do it.
And we also re-recorded a version of Great Pretender off of Ballad, that does actually have all four of us on it.
Yes.
So, it's that, the Great Pretender, we had did, like you said, and we had like changed that quite a bit for like how we're playing it live.
Yeah.
So we were like, screw it, let's do a recording, and then Glimmer is just like, let's get it on Spotify.
Yeah.
And then Milk being able to release that. You
Yeah.
know?
And Glimmer too, like that one, I recorded it. Now you're not on that one, are you? I think that's true.
Yeah, you had done that right at the beginning of March or April of the pandemic.
Yes, yes. Glimmer was supposed to be on a benefit album for the employees of the garage shop, and
Okay.
that just fell through, I guess. And I was the only person that submitted a song.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, okay, that was in 3 days too. I just like wrote it and did it really quick. But then I put it out. I was like, I can't let it go to waste. Yeah.
Hell no. No, you guys did like, I don't know, there's definitely like an evolution, I felt like, of like as you went through the albums, because I love, I mean, we love listening to this Cosmo like in order.
Yeah.
And because it just, I don't know, it tells, I mean, obviously albums tell a story, but that will tell a story as well. But like, I don't know, it felt more like, I don't know, how'd you describe it? You did a really good job.
So like the first album, like the Open Door to the Sun, like I feel like that's kind of like blues rock, like has kind of an R&B feel, like kind of like Alabama Shakes.
That's what I wrote down as well for the song, just Your Back Door. Like when I was like listening to that to start it all off, I was like I got like a little bit of shivers. I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought that was a really, really good tune. And We Used to Be is also one that has like a very Alabama Shakes vibe, if you're into them.
I always wanted to redo that one.
Yeah.
Because I recorded that in the Marauders. I didn't like how it came out. And I recorded it on that record. I didn't like how that came out. So I was thinking about bringing it back for another one, but we were gonna put it on the Marauders record, but then we didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
So that's probably gonna come back at some point. I do like playing that live though.
No.
It's fun.
Right on.
Yeah. Alabama Shakes. I got that in the first album.
But yeah, Dandy, Boho, and then Garbage Harbor, I feel like it's more of like a punk rock sound with like, you know, a little bit of glam to it, a little bit of, you know, experimental rock, like you were talking King Giz, like those two, I really hear it in that. And then, yeah, Ballad is like, in my opinion, kind of like a mix of Foo Fighters and Queen. Like you have all the vocal harmonies or overdubs perhaps, and then like the songs really rock out and like kind of have that energy that Foo Fighters have in their music.
That's tight.
Yeah, I got the Queen vibe as well on this last album that you guys put together. It's like the Dancing with the Queer Veins.
Yeah.
Like that, I really felt like I was just in like a night at the opera.
Yeah, it's fun.
I described Ballad the other day as our Tommy because it feels like it takes you on that like lyrical journey, and I can say this because I'm barely on it, so you know.
That's fine. Yeah.
I have no bias.
Yeah, that was. I think that was.
Yeah, I think like the first 30 seconds of Graduation is probably the best.
Okay, that sounds like being 30 seconds. Hell yeah. So you obviously said you guys more recently are obviously getting out and like playing some more. What have you guys ventured out of like the Cleveland area at all?
No, I want to.
Okay.
Every time we were getting ready to, we always lost somebody in the band.
Okay, yeah.
So
Now-
because I'm quitting.
Well,
Here.
something I'm thinking about was like every time you give somebody else a microphone, then that's when they're like, okay, it's time for me to go.
Yeah.
You know, they would all sing, but then they're like, sorry, guys.
All right, well, are there any specific like venues that you guys have been targeting, in general? Like even in Cleveland, I guess. I don't know, what are you guys, some of your favorite venues to play out here?
I mean, we love the Five, Five or Die. I love
It is. Shout out to them.
We used to play the Happy Dog a lot too, and actually I'm gonna go there right after this.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been there since the pandemic, so I don't even know who's booking anymore. So I really want to get back there.
Yeah, no.
Grog's another one.
Yeah, Grog's always been great to us too. Balls and all them. I mean, we did the Beachland once. I used to play the Beachland a lot. I mean, all the venues. I like all the venues.
I know, I mean, no, you really can't go wrong. Like I said, Happy Dog's so convenient right here. Buck and I are actually playing there, March 24th, with Buzz Baldwin Boys and, Yuck Puddle is who we're playing with. So yeah, that'll be a fun time. I'll play down in a fucking minute, but.
Spruce with the furs.
We're spruce with the furs.
Yeah.
The whole club was looking at her. Oh my god. Hell yeah. So do you have any ideas of, you pointed out a couple singles that you may be doing. Is there any album on the horizon in 2023?
Yeah, we started working on an EP. I think I've got like 4 records planned out already, and we got the tracks just kind of like set aside for the different projects. It's kind of how I do it.
Yeah.
Me and my brother Alan Made. I guess I learned that from him. So we'll come together like a ton of songs, like 46 songs, and then okay, these 12 go together, so it's this record, and then these 12 will go to this record.
Okay.
So, so we've always got something in the can ready to go. So that's kind of how I did all the other records at once too. But right as soon as we're done with this single, then we're gonna go right to an EP. And there's 5 tracks on that one. Yeah.
It's very mathematical. Some people will literally just like be like, well, let's figure out what we can play in here.
Oh yeah.
But I like it. I like it like that with like arts. Like it's very well like thought through and
Oh yeah.
very meaningful altogether.
Because I think I got like a hard drive full of like 376 songs, something like that.
A whole bunch of demos.
Yeah.
Ideas.
Yeah, tons. I could put out probably like 10 records this year, and I would scratch the surface. There's so much stuff.
Oh, you could be Giz though on there.
Yeah, no kidding. That truly is like Giz like. But also makes sense too, because I mean, on all the albums, the music is good, but one thing I really noticed that stands out is the sequencing and the mastering on all of them. Like every track flows into the next just like seamlessly, and it's almost like every album is kind of like one long song.
Totally. Yeah. I got that idea from the Cars. I was listening to the first album that they put out.
Okay.
And then there's something about it, just the whole thing just goes right into it. I was like, oh, I want to do that so bad. And then I liked it so much, I just kept on doing it for every single record. I mean,
It's a lost art nowadays. Like I feel like a lot of bands nowadays just, want to put just a collection of songs that happen to be created at the same time, and there's not like the thought of like how does this song flow into the next, and like creating a like total vibe for an album.
Totally.
It's tough. The music industry has become once again a single driven environment, and it's
Yep.
not the artist's fault. It's the way we consume music.
Blame TikTok.
Yeah.
That's exactly it though.
Well, and also like the 3 companies that control all the record producing.
Yeah, well, so as an insight for everybody that doesn't like know about this, when you release music on Spotify, say you're releasing an album, you have the opportunity to tell them, please put one of my songs on your playlist, but you can only do that for one of your songs on an album, and you can't ask them to playlist on their song until whatever you have coming out comes out, or whatever you've requested comes out. So if you have an album, then you can only ask them to playlist one song. So that causes people to want to do singles so that they can maximize, on their music. So it's kind of the fault of the industry at large, more so than artists, unfortunately, because like, you know, it is a lost art. Making an album is so much fun and so much of a creative place to be, you know, and yeah, so
You think the pendulum will ever swing back?
maybe, I mean, it's not like we haven't been a single driven environment before, like the 50s was very much that, you know, because that's just the way that radio worked and music consumption worked. People would buy 45s, they wouldn't buy like big albums, you know, that only came around like the probably mid-60s, I want to say.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so like the Beatles were deep into their career, you know.
Yeah.
They're probably part of the reason that we became an album driven environment in the first place.
Yeah, the White Album, that double album, like that was when people were really like, oh wow, this can be a thing.
Well, Sgt. Pepper, I think, was huge for that. That and like Pet Sounds probably
Oh,
was
yeah.
like big in like creating the lust for a cohesive album, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That album is like one just big, long psychedelic party.
Yeah, absolutely. They really sort of perfected that before a lot of other people. They're like Pink Floyd probably. And the
Yeah.
absolutely. I think his Tommy was 69, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The rock opera.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about pressing any of your stuff?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I do have a copy. No one else has a copy, but I do have a copy of the first record just because I wanted it. You know, I put it on the wall.
I know some people will buy all of them right now.
Yes, I tell this to every guest that comes on. If you ever press any of your music on vinyl, I will buy it. Like, no questions asked.
Yeah.
And let that be the deciding factor.
Yeah. I was thinking about, you know, because the first couple records are so short. I think the first one's like 12 minutes long or something like that. And the second one's like 7 minutes long. Something crazy. I thought I'd just put them all together in one. So I can just have like a double-sided, you know, thing that's got every single record on it. So you know, because then it'd be like, I could sell it for $20 because now it's got everything on it.
True.
Yeah. But I'd have to do like pull like a Todd Rundgren in between all the tracks, but like, this is the end of the you know, something like that.
No, we are always encouraging the press. We're gonna get some shirts made soon that has just like Vinyl Stallions on it and it's just like press that shit. And that'll be around Cleveland soon. So
Is it still a thing that like all those companies are just backed the hell out?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest
Yeah.
issues too. Like my brother and I, we're gonna be doing a double record next year. I think. I guess we're gonna start working on it this year for next year. But like, yeah, the wait times right now, it's like you have 8 months,
that's crazy.
you know, and it's like we're like 3 years to put this thing out. Like, yeah, you know. So hopefully they'll fix that. But I don't know.
Thanks to all the Swifties and doing
Yeah, right.
cheap ass record player.
Yeah.
Seriously. So how'd you start getting into like the producing, mixing, mastering of music?
So, you know, I got that tape machine like I was talking about, and I think when I used to record myself at 4-tracking all the time when I was like 7. And so then I think I was like maybe 15. We went to go record together at this place. Oh, I don't even think you were there. Well, I went to go record anyway. And you know, we recorded with Charlie, my friend Charlie Loud, who's done all my brother's records. And it was a good time. And I was like, but I didn't get like the sounds that I want, I wasn't able to get it. So I was like, oh man, maybe we'll try something else. Then we try to record with this other dude, screwing the whole thing up so bad. Like I couldn't believe like my guitar sounded like a radio and the bass and the drums so loud. And then like I had vocal harmonies to put on there and he took them off and he like cut my vocal weird. Oh my God. Got the mix CD and threw it out the window. Screw this, I'm gonna figure it out. And no one's gonna record me ever again. So then I was like just on this hunt to try like, okay, I gotta get like 5 4-tracks and just sync them together and then I can like have this mastered thing because that time like the Focusrite wasn't out, you know, I just had like a little like record transfer thing. So it was all like 2-track and then all the drums were mono and just like a lot of overdubbing. But when I was when I got sick, when I hit my head, I was like out of school, out of work for like a year. So every single day I would just go downstairs and mix just constantly, every single day. So I kind of like evolved after that. I just kept on trying new things. And now like the only person I trust is you. Scotty got a great studio, last with Dino. But man, I don't trust anybody.
But I feel like that's most people's kind of like
Mhm.
start, maybe in a less extreme way, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know, that's kind of how I felt. I was just like, I don't want to make those creative decisions, I don't want
Yeah.
I don't want to put that in somebody else's hands,
What got so bad when I was finally like, actually, I put the Pistolets record out. That was like my first, like, oh, this is a big thing I did. So I got all of the other copies of that CD, the original crappy CD. I got them glued onto a backing board, and I got a gold record made that says the shittiest record in the world. I hung that on the wall, and it's like,
Which that was for the Marauders at that point.
Yes.
So that it leads into
where we're going now. Finally, yeah.
That is fucking hilarious.
I have never even heard this recording, so
And no one ever will because they're glued to a backing board.
I would actually pay money to do that.
You know, I kept a copy. So, yeah.
His motivation, dude, that's hilarious. But you're on the right person again. Plastic Dino Records over in Bay Village. Check them out if you're looking to record some music, because y'all have a great setup over there. We'll come cause a scene one time with the Vinyl Stallions crew and do a little behind the scenes of it all.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should get over there and just like do like a walkthrough, just like give everyone like a look at what you got going on in there.
I've been meaning to hit you guys up and be like, let's plan a day on that.
Yeah, no, we'd be happy to promote it.
Oh, yeah.
So, Aaron, when did you join the band?
Oh, a couple weeks ago. Like that, I asked them to get for Brightwater. Yeah, Brightwater was my first gig out with these guys.
That was the first show. Well, shit, you went straight to the top.
So, yeah. So.
Yeah, we're star makers.
How long have you been playing keys for them?
Oh man, I'm one of those guys that got sent to piano lessons at a very young age, maybe like 5 or 6, and studied through what's basically an outpatient program at CIM.
Okay.
And, it was classical piano until right about high school, when I decided I didn't want to practice anymore. I just wanted to play jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of always had my eyeball on an organ. Finally got my hands on an old Vox Jaguar transistor organ, Italian made from the 60s, all the stuff, all the bells and whistles on it. The doors. The doors. You hear Jim Morrison in 4th grade, and you're like, yeah. So that's that sort of sparked it for me, and of course the vintage keyboard thing became part collection and part obsession, as well as doing it out with a number of bands for a number of years. And I guess I switch hit now: pianos and organs, electric pianos, acoustic pianos and organs. The one piece missing from the collection is that infamous Hohner clavinet. Maybe one day find myself a D6 or D7.
Yeah.
Nice little spare.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a tremendous keyboard collection. It's so cool.
And we haven't started talking about synthesizers yet either.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Are you just surrounded on stage?
No, and that's the thing. It should be.
Yes.
But everybody thinks that the drummer has the hardest load in and load out. It's the keyboard player when you get into 4 synths and 2 pianos and an organ.
And the whole
No way. So
We need to hire some roadies.
yeah, how many roadies are I've been trying to consolidate and travel light, go digital, and all that. So we'll see what the stage rig looks like, but certainly in the studio, I prefer the analog gear, vintage gear.
Hell yeah. Well, you said you quit lessons, but then you continue doing jazz. See, most people just stop at the quitting lessons, so you at least took that next step on like 90% of the other people. I was including myself.
I was fortunate enough that when I was in high school, our band director was retiring. And we were trusted to do the final inventory at the end of the school year. And he was signing off on it. They were getting rid of a bunch of stage band instruments they used for the jazz band. There was a 79 Fender P bass. There were 2 twin reverbs. There was a big old custom, the 50 amp stack. And I literally pulled a Fender Rhodes stage piano out of the dumpster and said, "I'll take this home with me." So that's sort of the beginning of the end.
Yes. Yeah. All good things are found in dumpsters, ladies and gentlemen. I kid you not, we're not upstairs in my room right now, but I got that big. The whole reason why this podcast is named Vinyl Stallions is because I was leaving my friend's house in Lakewood. Now I saw this giant picture of a stallion in this garbage, and I texted him like, "Yo, can you snag that for me?" He went and snagged it, and then 2 weeks later, we're like talking to, well, what should we name it? I was like, well, Stallion, and I was like, Vinyl Stallion, and then that we are created from garbage.
And yeah, we knew we wanted vinyl in the name because like we love vinyls, like we love the the idea of album as a form of art. So we knew we wanted that in the name, and then like Spruce one day just like has this picture of a stallion that looked cool, and it's like, there we go.
Well, and Leather Stallion was taken.
Like, yeah, true.
Believe me, we are a group of people that love to harbor garbage.
I thought that would have came from you.
Beat him to it.
Nate is the Lord of the Damn joke, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Well, Darren, you just broke down kind of what you're working with. I kind of want to just do a little bit of a rig rundown because I love learning. I'm deaf to the tone, and I want to be able to always go back at these and figure out what people are using. So, Connor, what do you use when you're playing on stage?
I use what works.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'll hear the tone.
After years of like trying to make like the tube amp and like double stack rig work, you just get tired and you get sick of things not working right and being unreliable, and like, well, this amp works, sounds good, and I only have to bring one cab, and nowadays I'm like thinking about, man, if I get a little spare money, I'm gonna get like a much smaller bass amp with a little guy out, because you really don't need a lot. I've seen people with these tiny little Ampeg stacks that are about like this high, like this wide. I'm like, that is the new rhythm. Yeah, because it always sounds great because Ampegs sound amazing, but it's not really hard to lift, not hard to like take to the gig. But yeah, my go-to right now is the acoustic B600 because I found it on Craigslist and it sounds great.
Nice.
4x10 cab because that sounds great, and my like pedal board built for like every band that I play in. And then just the Lakeland jazz bass because it's got a hip shot on it. I can like go down to drop D.
Oh hell yeah!
Notice when I need to.
Which
is, yeah. Anytime that I can fit that into a lick, I'm doing it.
Hell yeah! You can find a lot of nice stuff on like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace in the area.
Facebook Marketplaces. Oh, it's the only reason to still on Facebook.
Yeah, seriously. I can tell myself I need more space, but I want to get a drum kit, and they are just hounding me anytime like I even think about signing in.
I managed to snag a 90s Tama drum kit off of, I think, Facebook Marketplace or maybe Craigslist for like $50.
Wow.
And it was
What?
it was definitely a bit of a repair job.
Spacer effort.
I had to source a few parts, but man, it was worth it. I love that thing. Not my best drum kit, but it's for $50 worth it.
Yeah, right.
It's my Grohl kit. That's what I call it.
Were all the shells intact at least, and it was just like hardware and heads?
Yeah, I needed like I needed to get all new lugs for the for one of the kick drum heads, and then a new rim for it because it was just missing. And I think there were some missing lugs on the maybe some of the toms. And then all the whole wrap on all the toms was like crinkled and like coming off, and I was like, that's aesthetic.
Yep.
It's a nice patina.
Yeah.
What about you, Nate? What are you working with?
So main part, I use a Ludwig Vista Light 75. Was Alex's first drum kit there, so it's made its way over to me. We actually swapped our first kits.
Yeah. Yeah, I got his Tama, but I don't know what the model is. It's just a bunch of headless drums.
But the concert times.
Yeah.
But it's like 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. It's
Enormous.
massive.
Yeah, that's-
And the Vista Lights is slightly smaller with a 14-inch tom, 16-inch and 18-inch floor tom, the 24-inch bass drum. It's clear, but I put LED lights in it.
Nice.
So that whole thing lights up. We got our own custom head on the front. Now, if you listen to or watch the 91.1 stream that we did, I have my little jazz kit, my little Fortune kit,
Yeah.
because the space in the radio is not very forgiving. for that.
Goddamn.
So I got a small kit if needed, but for cellophane, most of the time I'm rocking the Vista Lights.
Oh, yeah.
And then, a mix of Mino hi-hats and then some vintage Zildjians for
Nice.
crash rides and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice.
What about you? What are you working with?
Oh, man.
Because let me tell you, some of the sounds that I heard on some of these tracks that you got out of them are absolutely insane. So
I change my pedal board every day. But for live now, I've been trying to keep it as simple as I possibly can, so I could just bring it all in at once, and I'm not gonna break my back. I got a bad back. Looks like a couch. So now it's like for live stuff, I got the Pod Go, and I've got little power cab, and that's it.
okay.
Gets the job done. In the studio, all bets are off,
Yeah.
or if I've got like extra help, like I always play in stereo. So I've got like my PV Bandit and TKO 80 running in stereo. You usually end up splitting between like a Boss octave pedal with one, so it's like got this extra low end. We've got these like electro harmonics, germanium overdrives, that's the main crunch tone. There's a delay pedal that I use. It's like a Dane Electro. It's this little red Fab Echo. I can't believe I'm telling anybody any of this. I know, I used to be so secret about all of it. I kind of still am. I don't know if I'm going to talk about the one piece in here. It was to a point where I used to spray paint everything or cover it in duct tape so nobody knew what I was doing.
Really?
And I got stuff too. So even if I tell you what it is, like you're not gonna get the sound.
No, guys.
So it's a Dane Electro Fab Echo, and you just hit it, it just goes for days. I love that thing so much.
The prices on those are gonna skyrocket.
Yeah, I'm already trying to afford like 19 of them. It's totally messed out. I don't want to talk about that one piece though. It's so.
That's all right. You gotta leave the people
I
wanting.
know, yeah. There's a brown box that I take with me to place. It's not there. It double.
The secret brown box.
The amps was one thing. I was like, yeah, it's been long enough. I started telling everybody, for real, the PV Bandit is like that's the best amp of all time. I am one of the rating kings.
This
of solid state.
upstairs.
Yeah. I call it dude, it gifted me as my first stamp. My uncle was like, I don't want this anymore. And then when I showed you, you and Matt did, you were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
What a fool.
Yeah.
I used to have a Marshall J&P Mark II, and I'm letting Connor borrow it for the longest forever.
I love it so much. I'm obsessed.
It's
with it.
great, yeah.
It's like I started playing with another group and I'm like, well, I can't take this out. How am I gonna get this out?
That's the thing. I used to take that out and play with stereo, and I had like 4 tabs or something at one point. Just a total monster. But that's the main signal chain. That brown box is very important, but it's like a preamp. I'll just say that. But in the studio too, for some other songs, like I'll plug into I got an old tape machine that's screwed up, and I just plug it in, dial it all the way in, and it gets gnarly fuzz.
Interesting.
Or there's a reel-to-reel that I have that doesn't work, same idea, just plug it in, just get anything you can, plug it in and just see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, on an elevator, there's a 1/4-inch jack. I've always wanted to just go in there and plug something into it, see what it does.
Really?
Like, am I gonna take over the speakers or plug it in?
That's hilarious.
I want to go on this adventure with you.
I'm gonna bring like this pocket amp.
Yeah, let's get a little break together.
Yeah, just like a 30-second song, just right at the top.
Guitar wise, like I used to use SGs a lot. And it was like this white one that I used to use. I modified the crap out of it. Brian made tones and all sorts of stuff. But right now I'm mostly using this guitar by a company called The Lore. They're like black, and it's kind of like
Makes a lot of manual.
what's it called? They do, yeah, I don't know, acoustic stuff, but it's like a 10 Nugent guitar. So I got 2 of those because they need to have a backup, and Squire Starcaster. That one's like I could beat the crap out of it.
Yeah.
It would be totally fine. But at Bright Winter, I had a Flying V. And I don't normally play that one out, but like all the other guitars broke, so I was like, oh, I should play the Flying V. Just playing the crap. Oh, sounds great. You know, we played a Coda, it was really cool. And we got on stage at Bright Winter, and I'm like, here we go. I'm like ripping through it. We get to the AC/DC track, and I go to solo, and I go like this, and it's ripped the whole freaking strap thing off, gone. And I was like, oh, well, you know, I'll fix it later. So I'm playing, finish the solo, and I'm holding it, and I mean, I throw guitars, everyone's throwing guitars. I was ready to bash it, and I was just like, let me see if I can put it back on. And it was just a screw peg sticking out. I was like, well, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
So, like, geez, you guys think I can keep on going? They're like, so I was like, all right, so if I can just put my hand through it and just went like this.
You're holding it the whole
For like
time?
7 tracks.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Eventually I switched to the Starcaster, but yeah, you gotta do what you can.
Yeah.
That's wild.
What you want, you know?
Honestly, it might have been worth it because everybody keeps talking about it.
I know, I think so.
Play the Flying V, they said.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of speed.
It was really, it just stole the show, didn't it?
Yeah. You know, another important piece of gear that me and Connor have been using lately is these like little wireless units. And at first, you know, they're like cheapo things on Amazon. And I was like, oh, this will just be fun because then I'm really lazy. I can just put my guitar over here, I'll stuff plugged in over there, and I don't have to worry about cables, clean it up. But then like it died the one day, so I plugged in a cable. I was like, something's wrong. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't have to push. I don't know what it is, but it gives you like an extra frequency push.
Interesting.
So I was like, oh, I can't rip it out anymore. Like, I got like 4 sets of them.
You got a bunch of them now?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Bought me all this.
You need these too.
That's awesome.
It just kind of changes like the whole like way you approach playing live too, because you're no longer thinking like, oh, am I like getting tangled in this? I mean, like I try to make it work at your guys' show, and then I had technical difficulty with one of them, and I was said like, I think it was a problem with my input jack on my guitar, because I had like just put that together, and I probably had something loose, and so I just it's spur of the moment. I just had to unplug it and just like find an extra cable and just go with that. And I was like, but yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just so much more relieving when you can just be sort of untethered.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that like in the modern day, we're in 2023 at this point, like how much we still use chords.
I think like the sort of depiction of it in pop culture has kind of made people think that they're like super unreliable. You know, in some ways they can be, but like not like they used to be.
No, yeah.
The technology works very well, and you know the wireless part of it. I haven't really had a problem with it. It's all been like connection issues that you can still get with a regular cable.
Yeah, true.
Do you remember that one show? I think we were at the Vortex, getting ready to hit the first note. I hit a big E, and then I kicked it out and it just went flying. And then I was like looking for it, I couldn't find it. I was like, oh, nowhere to start the show. Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. Hopefully the big note was gone. I was like, oh, I became.
I was gonna say I don't remember.
It was my boss and I actually picked the talk concerts.
Just a cable around.
The Vortex.
You guys ran off the stage.
Yep.
It just, I'm stuck on the stage, like, and they just disappear into the dark, just running around.
They had those like kickable
So, like,
smoke machines.
I also
Kickable smoke machine.
oh yeah, they had like little point switches that would like
That's
But I almost ruined somebody else's bass that night because I had like double technical difficulties because Wigged Out played that show as well. And my guitar stopped working the second I tried to start playing. So I had to borrow somebody's guitar for the Wigged Out set. And my bass had also stopped working and I brought it for Wade to play. So he had to borrow somebody's bass and then I had to also borrow that bass
Oh my Lord.
for our set. Thing was, it looked almost identical to my bass. So we're in the middle of our set. I'm not thinking about it. And my brain's like, this is my bass. So I like ran at the wall and they had like a big like bench across this whole wall. So I'm just sprinting at it full speed and I'm like getting to it. And I'm like, oh, this isn't mine. And I like at the last minute, I like try to slam into the wall. Oh yeah, good times. I was so like I like profusely apologized to that dude after and he was like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah, you didn't do it.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Damn, all right, I want to see you guys live. I'm gonna see you guys live beforehand. Like I feel like the showmanship in itself. I mean, I've only seen Connor play, and well, he'll just run into a wall with anyone's bass.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, do what you gotta do.
you do what you got to do. But no, seriously, do you guys have any shows on books?
Yeah, do we?
Yeah, we got that. I know, right? So, because we ended up playing like a bunch of stuff in a row, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna take a break, we're gonna finish the record or the singles and stuff, and then come back because we're gonna start getting busy with our other band for a second. We got that show in April or May
Is
at
it May?
May Halls.
Yeah.
I believe.
Oh, yeah.
What day was that? Was it day?
That's not right.
That's right, we do. Yes, May 27th at May Halls. It is
Okay.
May Halls, not Ma Halls.
Yes.
Fight anybody.
We have
I'll say however I damn well please.
Welcome. Uh-huh.
Have you guys been what is it upstairs that they renovated of it?
Oh, that basement?
Or the basement, yes, yeah, being in the basement part of it.
The base.
Saw it once.
You talking about the tiki
Before
bar?
it flooded.
Did it flood?
The place you got based on? Yeah.
The apartment.
I don't know, so is there a stage upstairs?
So the apartment they usually use for smaller kind of
Okay.
gallery style or acoustic shows. And then they were using the basement as a venue space, and then they flipped it to be like a high-end cocktail bar, which then flooded.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. That's karma.
Yeah.
It should have stayed. I mean, so many good times in the May halls, locker, for real, yeah.
Dude, I think like some of the best shows I ever played were in that locker room stage. They were also some of the worst shows I played, but in the best way. I have never been sweatier or more like dehydrated playing a show, but good goddamn. I mean, if that isn't like the most intense experience and like the most like true to form like punk style venue that been included, I don't know what it is.
Wow,
And
yeah.
it was, and I felt like just a shot local scene to
Yeah.
take that away.
That room really did feel pretty close to a house show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's nothing like a good house show.
You guys set up your own PA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, yeah, people went downstairs with a purpose, they knew what they were getting into, and yeah. That's unfortunate, but
That place is designed to be a shitty punk venue.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Nobody ever used that bowling alley down there. The phones work, the landline phones work.
I didn't know they flooded, that actually kind of sucks.
No,
Did any of you actually
I've
bowl there?
never bowled.
really?
And they've
It's not a great bowling.
No.
Sure.
To keep your own score.
Well, yeah, and that's fine. I mean, that's kind of how it should be.
That's how we get it back.
Not for me.
They're not golfing.
But the bowling conditions themselves is sort of like bowling on a dry gym floor.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of action in the lanes. The oil patterns aren't kept up with. It's not, not.
I never saw the show and I never played a show in the basement, but I did bowl there once.
Okay, so like someone is.
Yeah.
I've never bowled MA halls ever. Did I say it right?
You should.
I've never bowled in the hall.
And you're tired of something, Bob.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Who, what are some, just, I don't know, music you guys have been listening to recently? Anyone in particular?
UFO.
Okay, I
I
don't
do
know.
a lot of UFO. I don't know why. It just I got ended up getting on a big Michael Schenker kick for a second there, but it's been nothing but Thin Lizzy before that.
Okay, that's some.
Love Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
I haven't dove into Thin Lizzy that much. Have you, Club?
Just a couple albums, but yeah, I mean, from what I've listened to, I really dig their sound. I mean, they're just, like classic 70s rock, like really good songwriting, really good musicianship, ripper solos, like great band.
It's just you and the boys, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, fighting, yeah. Cowboys. Yeah. What do you got?
Yeah, you guys listen to anything or any artists that
I mean, Genesis has been on a big run.
Nice.
But, like Steven Wilson's newer stuff, his solo stuff.
He's also been like remixing all these like Jethro Tull albums.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think he started doing like, I don't know the production term. Is it quad? Or like,
Was he doing like the 5.1 or was he doing quadraphonic?
I think
quadraphonic,
quadraphonic,
yeah.
like that's something he's been like moving into.
Yeah.
In a interview I saw him, but his newer stuff, it's been on my list. A little bit of ABBA, a little bit of everything.
You're telling our most recent episodes. We did Voulez-Vous album review, and we actually had he's the audio engineer in charge of the Star in Dallas, and he ran sound for like AT&T Stadium. But prior to that, in the '90s, he actually ran the mic for Phil Collins for Genesis for like 2 tours or something. So that's you're drilling our most recent episodes with those.
Somebody would listen.
Yeah. Some of the Oh yeah, y'all got any down there? Anyone?
It's way different. I've been on a big like emo punk kick, like readdressing stuff that I was into in like high school and like haven't listened to in a long time. So it's kind of like been like a nostalgia kick for me. Which has been,
Those are the best, honestly.
it's been great because like also it's like nostalgia and then also like what have I missed since then? You know, sort of like with like the scene, you know, that's been really awesome. Although that has more to do with like what I'm doing with Wigged Out and what I'm doing here, but everything with Cellophane just kind of like comes naturally. So it's like it's almost like I don't like need the inspiration because it's just like, you know, it just sort of falls into place.
Gripping around.
Yeah, gripping around.
No, it's fun to be able to go back like to songs when you're like, all right, this slapped. I remember the slapping, and then like going back and being like confirmed. It's also the disappointing part is when it's like that's like, oh, that was so great.
Yeah, and for me, it's been like sort of realizing that like, you know, for the longest time, it's like you hear something like that for me, and it was like, oh, this feels like really adolescent to me, you know, because I just associate it with that, and so like it's been nice to go back and like not have that inhibition and just remember like why I like this stuff in the first place, and now being able to like it again.
Yeah,
It's been a journey.
journey full circle.
Yeah, I know I've like listened to a couple of things like from back then, and then like as I listen to them now, I feel like my ears have changed. It's just like, oh, there's actually more stuff happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, I've never heard that before. How did I not hear this? Or like, so it's very cool to like get songs that you fell in love with, and then like when you hear them, it's like, oh, there's even more than I even knew.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I go through that seriously all the time, and it is such an amazing feeling.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, me? Well, Wayne Shorter passed away. I've been diving through that discography a little bit. There's a band called Desperate Journalist that's been on heavy rotation for me. It's a little shoegazy, a little new wavy. A really complete production. It's sort of the best things I like about those genres, updated with a female front lead sing. So that's good. That new Lil Yachty record I've listened through a number of times, really liking that. That's kind of
I've heard that was really good.
yeah. And then I play a lot of popular music out as a DJ and karaoke too. So I get stuck on like one pop track a lot, and then I'll play the shit out of it to the point where it annoys everybody else in the house, and like, oh, no more of this. And this past week, it's been Meet Me Halfway by the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, dude.
Which has some killer drum shit going on that I had never really recognized before. But that production, that's amazing.
I actually went through that entire album in like November, I think.
Really?
And like the last 4 songs are kind of rough on that album, but
Yeah.
like everything else before that, I'm like, all right, like,
Okay.
we do that.
And the Black Eyed Peas have long been a punchline.
Yeah. Big time.
They disgrace the name of that with the app.
Yeah, Meet Me Halfway has been the jam this past week or two.
Yeah. So where do you like DJ at? Or you said you do like karaoke and stuff as well?
Yeah, for Saturdays, Little Rose Tavern, West Park, Cleveland.
Nice.
That's karaoke. Every Thursday, West Bank of the Flats, Japanese restaurant called Sora.
I haven't seen that pop up. Is it relatively new?
Within the past year. But there's sort of a back room, and the ceiling is backlit with these paper Asian umbrellas.
Okay.
Ooh.
So the lighting is cool.
It's like purple.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they the nice thing about that venue is the tech is all built in, the sound is wild. It's a really nice mix. It's really high-end production for what would otherwise be karaoke in the corner of the dive.
Definitely.
And I do a lot of private events and weddings and bar mitzvahs.
Yes.
And
That's that though.
and this person, I'm also the commander bandmaster is my rank on the Nautica Queen cruise diving ship.
Hell yeah.
So-
I've been on that.
Yeah,
Probably rolling after that beer fest one time.
Right. Yeah. Oh, you were there. Yeah. So my uniform shirt has 3 bars on it, not quite the captain, but I've got a lyre instead of an anchor or propeller.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's my
That's nice.
my summertime gig, DJ and tour guide on there.
Have you dove into like making any music yourself?
I've always found myself in more of an assist role. I've always kind of been I've never found myself in a songwriter's position. I've
Okay.
never really felt compelled to write songs. But what I find myself doing really well is a little more of the producer's role, or maybe sometimes an arranger, or a long history of recording too. So a lot of just the sparkly magic that
Yeah.
happens after the song is built.
Yeah,
The
that's-
foundation needs to be there first before I can jump in on that.
You're exactly what a songwriter needs, because the songwriter, we got the meat and potatoes, but we're gonna need that sprinkle on top always.
It's always been my goal.
The judgment.
Oh, yeah.
Commander's just master.
That's right. It's gonna be a finger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finger with a little sparkle.
Yeah. Is it sparkles or peppery?
What's the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Club, you got anything else for these fine gentlemen before we go into what always happens here, Connor knows, the encore of our
See,
set?
encore. I was like, is there a lightning round?
Yeah, let's see that. We should really start doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to just be like, what? You know, just one question in mind. Yeah, literally, it's fine. I'll just jump out the window if you guys know.
Is this the part where the hot wings come out? Is that the podcast?
You gotta find some stunt with that. Don't really gotta sailing man.
You gotta get a ball wig and a
chili. Yeah.
We going bull riding after this? Is that?
Who can last long?
you're ready to shake dice.
But it should be a mechanical stallion.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He brings a line over.
We're getting buck and wild.
Final Stallion hits a pony.
Yeah.
Last person to not get kicked.
Yeah, who can stand the closest for the most amount of time? Well, Vinyl Valley would kick you in the head 2 minutes. What do you think, Claude?
Okay, so I guess my only question before we go to the encore would be I want all 4 of you to give me your top 3 Cellophane Jane songs.
Oh,
I don't know that.
No particular order, and if you need to like maybe expand beyond 3, that's okay. 3 is just the number I picked.
Who's turn?
Well, Alex has too many to think through.
I do. Like, I count the ones that aren't released.
I'll say percent of the people.
Oh, I didn't even think about that one.
I think everybody's gonna love Ripple when it comes out. I really love Ripple. Ripple? Glimmer.
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
So guys, start.
It's on set list now.
Gladiation?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I like that one. And the other one that I like on there a lot. It's bound down, bound down, bound down, down. It's the same song.
That's good.
Yeah, see, I'm like I said, bad with lyrics.
I love
Yeah,
I love
no.
him really.
Yeah. And then
That got me good.
what's it's on the same record, and it's about it's on the back 9.
Oh, is it There, piece by piece. The what's it called? I don't even know the name of
We
it.
played it at the show at the
Great Planet.
yeah the Great Planet, like that one.
Great Lake Pretend. There you
There's my 3.
Okay.
Doesn't exist.
go. Yeah.
Nipples.
Nipple.
Nipple
in the night.
Well, you gotta bring that out.
I should. Yeah.
You're gonna.
My 3 can't be ranked because I can't think of a rank, but the first one would have to be an obligatory garbage probably, because obviously. And then second would definitely be CCQ. Which is coming out eventually.
Yeah,
So,
we play that at all our shows right here.
and then my third would be Tide. Because Phenom has to make my list.
That's also
Like that.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
They didn't bust that one.
Right, the fucking words are.
Yeah. You said
That's also coming out with
Every-
CCQ eventually.
That one's really different from a lot of stuff we've done.
But then my other one would be Fortune Teller because that song is awesome. And it goes so hard. I love that song. We should probably start playing it live.
I know, I was just thinking about that too.
But that's it. Don't ask me any more questions.
That's it.
One more for you.
That's pretty smart.
I know, like the mo.
Yeah. But, Silver Morning's up there for me.
No, I wrote that one down.
That's in my top 3 for sure.
But like,
I played that one a lot.
but like, Long Stays, Light Rise, and Rita are up there for me. But Phenom, like, we've been chomping at the bit to get that one out on the rotation. So
You know, for me, I call it the snowboarding video game song.
Totally.
Because I feel like it belongs in like SSX Tricky. Like that game song. I stand by that. Oh yeah.
I think CCQ, A Giant Dog. Man, it's so hard to pick the list. I'll put a tie. I'll go half Garbage Harbor and probably half Rita. Yeah, because that was like the song that really like, it was the first song I recorded for the
Yeah.
whole thing. Yeah.
And that's something I wanted to touch on as well, because I checked out the website beforehand and I saw that like blog you kind of put
Yeah.
about it all, and like I thoroughly enjoy when artists do that, and we had someone on from Pittsburgh, his name's Chuck Dinosaur, and he literally breaks down, he puts out a lot of different music, and he goes through each album, and like writes like a little kind of thing that you did, like blog, where just the inspiration behind it, how it was created, and I don't know, as a listener, as a person who enjoys music, like it's cool to get that background information and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, I appreciate you doing that for us, and in general, it was really cool.
I've been thinking about doing that some more, and I think I just needed to hear somebody tell me that, so okay, cool. Good thing.
That's a fun fact about that blurb for ballad. I found out about all of that. Everybody else did.
Really?
And posted that. And then when we were which I don't even think is out yet, we did a Dave Ziggy podcast.
Yeah.
And we went through the whole story, and I was just sitting there like, huh, okay. And I was just like learning the whole time.
Yeah, it was because it was obviously kind of a hard thing to talk about because it's such a personal, story and something that intense that happened to me.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
yeah, and that was the whole point of doing the record too. It's kind of like a self therapy kind of thing, Now that I got it out, I'm like, okay, I can talk about it now.
Yeah.
It's not so hard.
Definitely. No, I really enjoy that aspect of an artist, give that little background of it all. So here's your confirmation
Yeah,
to
I can do it.
continue to do.
I got the work on my phone, right? I'll probably put a couple up. Later this month.
Hell yeah. Love to hear it. Love to hear it.
It's funny I criticize you because I'll probably never do that.
I mean, it is tough. It's vulnerable in a sense of like, I don't know, reflecting on it and like writing about it, because I don't know. But I just think it's cool like where you're coming from, because like someone else can take it in a whole different way. And like,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun though to like kind of put a song out there and be like, I know what it means, but it's up to interpretation now. I mean, I kind of like that idea of just leaving a mystery up to the listener.
Exactly. I was actually talking to Randall or the captain about it at one point, because I was like, oh, I just want to. We were gonna do like a mini little. It's not like a podcast. It's just like a 30-second blurb where we talk about every single song and we play it in Plastic Dino like for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And just get through everything for content. And I remember everybody I talked to about it was like, oh, dude, you're Steve. I was like, I'm gonna do what I want.
Yeah. So much. Yeah, literally.
Let me tell you about our album.
Right before we were gonna do the CD release show, we went to go do a podcast kind of live stream thing, and it did not work out. But the funny thing was the other guy that was there that was gonna be talking to us just got going, so let's just talk about the record. And like, but then like we wouldn't even talk about it, so it just became this joke of like, in an hour or two, we're gonna talk about the record.
Tell me about your record.
Tell me about your record.
Nothing in general.
Yeah. Like,
Tell about your record. That's funny. Hell yeah. All right, well, we can go whatever which order. We always do this with every single guest. And what is your most memorable concert experience? And this can be playing a concert, attending a concert. It can be something that was just so memorable to you in a good way, or like, holy shit, I saw that guy get yeeted off stage and that will never leave my brain as well. And you can say a couple if it comes to mind, but anyone that has some good ones, feel free to fire away.
Yeah, I don't remember what I said last time, so I'm afraid I'm gonna say the same fucking
I'm
thing.
trying to think. I know that's what we have to do. Cut them all up, honestly, but I don't really remember what you said either.
And there's one I should not say out loud, especially on a recording.
Oh,
Then you gotta say it.
uh-oh.
When you hit the stop button, I'll say.
All right.
You gotta leave them wanting.
Yeah.
Playing Brave Winter was like probably one of the coolest shows I've ever played. Most people have ever played to, so that was pretty tight. I think my favorite show I ever went to was St. Vincent. But there was like a recent one,
Yeah.
the Agora. She like recreated it was like David Bowie's Diamond Dog era backdrops, which is the coolest.
Wow.
And the scariest concert experience I ever had was going to see Idols.
Like recently, last year?
Yeah,
Okay.
with Connor and his brother, and I'm not really big in the crowd.
Yeah, there it is right there.
I'm excited.
I was gonna talk about
it. Not really big in crowds, or being at the front stage and stuff like that. I'm kind of like somebody that like stands way in the back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I'll look. So I was like, I'll get up close. The first band was like, it was all noise, whatever. And then Idol came on and started like slowly building up. And it was so fucking scary. Like, oh, I started undulating. And I was like, get out of here. I pushed my way to the neck. I was like, where the fuck are you going? Like,
Fucking out.
I'll start. I was like,
Dude, that is how Giz was for us when we saw them
Oh,
in May
yeah.
last year at
You
the
were on
World.
a show, yeah.
I was there. Yeah,
we played together.
we were in that like way, like I don't even think I used my feet. I was just like shoulder to shoulder, like leaning on people.
That's just
going
nuts to butts.
Yeah.
Just shoulder to shoulder, no.
Not
That's
so
the
much.
Okay. I gotta piggyback off that because I have a very different like perspective of that. Where like I was at the back of the crowd when they started, and like for a couple of songs I was like back there just like, cause like I'm older now, I'm not in my like mosh pit stage anymore, and I was just like, am I going out? I'm not really like sure. And like, I hit like song 3 and I was like, fuck it, and I like walk in and just get like sucked into the crowd. So I'm just like fucking passing around, just like, whoa, like falling down, somebody picks you up and they give you a hug and then like
Throw it back to us.
super positive, like brutal as fuck, but like really positive. And I was like, that was a beautiful moment. I was like, there was one point where like they like fucking walked up over the crowd and I was like under there like holding their shoes. I was like, what the holy shit. And that was amazing. And then a few weeks later went to Grog to see the Melvins play.
Okay.
And there was like a much smaller pit that happened to that, and I went in because they played fucking Honey Bucket, and I had to like get hard. And
Damn, I didn't know those boys were still kicking it.
killer show. However, that mosh pit experience was way worse because you get tossed to the side and you bump into some old guy, and they just be pissed at you because they're old and they don't want to deal with mosh pit, so they just go. And just like shove you with all their like old person rage, and you're like, dude, go to the back then.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be an old fuck about it, go to the back and stop being an asshole. This is fucking punk, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect, man? So yeah, that was not as fun, but still great to see the Melvins. My most terrifying concert experience, though, absolute most terrifying, very nuts to butts, Oliver Tree. At the House of Blues.
Okay.
We'll say I was under the influence of something. This man came out on stage with his whole band and his whole crew dressed exactly like him with a prosthetic like face and a hair mask of him. So it was just like 10 Oliver Trees on stage. And I was losing my mind.
That's insane. Wait, like his old backing band?
Everybody on stage was dressed as Oliver Tree.
Dude, that is fucking insane.
And I remember when I just let my body weight go, and so I was just floating around, like just people pushing me around, and my friend pulled me out of there. We went to the bar. It was so hot in there that the bartender was just like pouring water. So they were just like rallying the water. So I chugged a few. We went out into like the lobby area because we were like, this is too much, and sat there for like an hour, and there was just like a constant stream of people coming out, and it just never ended. And it felt like the same songs kept playing. It was so weird.
Oh my god.
We're like, what's going on? Like this is like real life. It was a Oliver Tree.
Dude, that guy's a character to look at. Like everyone's just like
I love him. I admire him so much because it's just like, it just blurs the line between like reality and fiction.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's all make believe, but it's also like he pushes so hard to make you believe that it's actually real. And it's like, cool.
That is hilarious. Was that recent?
That was some years ago now.
Okay.
It was like 3 or 4. Yeah. Yeah, it was a Halloween show too. That made it like
Everyone's dressed up spooky and shit.
I was dressed in like a full Joker costume and like a whole suit. So I was like sweating my ass off, full face paint. So there's a dude like that looks like the Joker, just like.
That's hilarious. Oh yeah. You boys got anyone?
Yeah, I mean, I think two of my top concerts to like go and see is Genesis and Elton John. I mean, just to be a part, to be a part of like those giant crowds where everyone's literally just singing every song, and every song's literally just hit. And like to be able to see those guys perform before they hang it up.
I know, I regret not going to that Elton John concert last year, just to
The
say.
baseball one was so cool, but like
We saw it together.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I debated it that morning and I definitely regret it.
as far as like performing, at CSU, I had the opportunity to open up for Common with the CSU pop rock group in the Wolstein Center. And as cool as that experience was, Bright Winter blew that out of the water because that crowd was nowhere near like Bright Winter.
Oh yeah.
Like, and so like being able to have those two experiences and like Bright Winter, just that crowd was just so fun to be in front of.
Yeah, those are two very different like watershed moments for like musical career, because like there's like, whoa, I did something like really significant, but with like somebody really significant, that's really cool. But then it's like doing your own music and getting a response like that, it's like a totally different kind of.
Yeah, because like, we were playing, pop rock songs, like covers and stuff, and like they were into it, but like everyone was there for Common, and so it was just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of energy, but like
Nothing like that, bro.
No.
No, I saw a handful of
I mean,
videos of that Bright Winter crowd just like talking to everyone.
between these three guys running around, they're the AC/DC too. This guy was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like focused on these guys to make sure like we're in time, and he's just like running like behind me, up and around.
He did an ACDC cover, so here and have a tambourine.
Oh yeah, and you gotta keep that crowd going.
Yeah, people were very receptive. I got a lot of commentary on
Yeah.
just the tambourine performance.
He got the flying bee, he got the most comments.
Like comments, yeah.
The key, they're like, keyboards could have been a little louder. I said, well, the sound on stage wasn't necessarily great, and I couldn't really hear where we were, and maybe I wasn't playing as confidently as I could have for that performance, still being new to, but fuck, I hit that tambourine. It's like I to back with Connor for a minute, and then like, we've never done this before. It's a thought going through my head. I hope I don't fall over.
I don't have those inhibitions anymore.
Connor, I've never touched my legs before. This is great.
We explored each other's bodies.
Yeah.
Hell of a first show for you.
It was cool. It was really.
And it wasn't until after that I heard you guys couldn't hear anything up front.
No.
Everything. I heard everything. My whole left side, all I done was playing. And I was just like, I can't hear anything out of my left ear.
I couldn't even be concerned about that because I was like, I was worried about hearing myself when I could feel my fingers.
3 songs in, I'm like, I keep holding my sticks.
Yeah.
Gonna have to try.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they promised us a heated stage, however, they backlined all of the gear in front of where the heater came in. So
No fucking way.
only the headlining band that day got a heated stage on that stage. So
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
Yeah.
They needed some warm arms.
Yeah,
Oversight.
or just do it in the summer.
Yeah, hey, bright summer.
Bright summer, yeah. Why do you live in Cleveland? One reason. For the summer.
Right.
And how hot that is in the parking lot though?
Yeah, true. Yeah, you need some middle ground.
They used to do
You need
more
large
flats.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. How about that? That's hilarious.
So first time I saw 741.
Well, yeah, gentlemen, this was fucking fun. I appreciate you guys coming on and chatting it up with Club and I.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They'll do better in Toledo.
Yeah.
Debatable, but it's been all right.
Is that literally what it says when you enter?
Yeah, you never been to Toledo?
I don't look at their signs.
I'm impressed you know that though. Like most people that live in Toledo don't know that phrase.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, fuck. We'll be looking out. So you said April.
Yeah. it's
Look into the next show. And
Oh, man.
May 27th
Yeah.
yes,
at May Halls.
May 27th, May Halls. Got that. Check out some new music. More so, just check on Flip the Lamp over there. I think it's hot as hell.
I agree.
It's a small just cargo right there. But again, check them out everywhere. You guys got a shit ton of music out, and definitely a band who are gonna want to see live, and including myself. I mean, you get involved with that.
Yeah, go on down.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, come
Same,
forward.
ditto.
We'll give you a free ticket. Somebody does that.
Yeah, a lot of nice down.
Do it like the rubber bandits from Ireland, with like the just your full head covered with the mouth.
I love it. Speaking of horses, boys, we're gonna need you to name in a second. My name is Spruce,
I'm Clep.
and this has been another episode of Vinyl Stallions.